All right, Josh Miller, head judge for the Central Valley Throwdown. We're going to be going over movement standards and a couple things with WOD 1, which is the 2-minute drill. Just to let you know, at the starting, we're going to be starting with the snatch. We're going to be 2 minutes of snatch, 2 minutes of clean and jerk, 2 minutes of thrusters, followed by 2 minutes of toes to bars. We're going to roll through each movement right into the next. At 3, 2, 1, go, you're going to be standing tall. At go, you can go ahead and get down and grab that bar and start your snatches on this movement. When you hit the 2-minute mark, you can then move forward from your bar to the next movement. So, not until you get to that 2-minute mark can you move to that next bar. You can decide to take a little rest before you move, but you cannot move until that next 2 minutes begins, and then you can move into that next bar. Then you're going to be moving up to that next bar, where you're going to be doing your clean and jerks for 2 minutes. And then after that's done, you're going to move up, you're going to do your thrusters. After that, we're going to head over to the toes to bars. We'll move our way backwards on the movement standards from the toes to bars, and then we'll use this bar for the bar movement standards. So, we've got Matt here helping me out with the movement standards for this. Real quick, just to tell you what we're looking for on the toes to bar. We need to see 2 feet touching the bar in between your hands while you're hanging from the bar. And then at the bottom, that bar, your feet are going to break the plane of either the upright or the bar, or whatever we're looking at. So Matt's going to show you a couple good reps. That's touches there. So there we go. And we got his feet behind the bar there. Perfect. Awesome. So a couple things that we're going to see that will be no reps will be, one, obviously if we miss the bar completely, I don't even think we need to show you that, but if you miss the bar completely with one or both feet, then that's a no rep. Also, if you hit the bar separately with your feet, then that's going to be no rep. So we'll show you what that looks like real quick. Okay, that's a no rep. If you kick your feet outside of your hands, then that's also a no rep. All right. And then the last one is if you don't get those feet below breaking parallel of the upright. This one's not an easy one to do on purpose. Feels real good. So that's a no rep. Okay? Pretty straightforward with the toes to bars. One last thing with the scaling for this. We're going to have those knees are going to have to break the hip crease and go higher than the hip crease. So just like the movement standard for a squat is going to be hip crease below the top of the knees, it's going to be the same kind of standard there. So if he's there, he's going to be knees above parallel, perfect, and then feet behind the bar, and the same thing. So a no rep would be as if he doesn't go above behind the bar, or if he doesn't get his knees high enough. Okay, so that's a no rep. So pretty simple with the toes to bars. All right, we're going to move back to this bar. We'll show you all the other movements with this bar. We'll start out with the thruster. The thruster, front rack position, you're going to do a front squat, explode up, press through to a full opening at the top there. So we'll show you from the top here. So he's going to go hip crease below the top of the knees there. He's going to stand up and press through. All right. One thing that he is not going to do is he's not going to re-dip on this. So if he does that thruster, he comes down and he goes and he does a jerk, or he re-dips at the top. It needs to be one smooth motion up to the top and no jerking at the top. All right? And go ahead and show me a thruster with a jerk at the top. Say, that's not going to be that'll be a no rep. Also, what we can do, since he has the bar on the ground, is he can catch it into a squat clean and then go right up from that. But that does need to break parallel on those hips. So good, and presses through. Okay? A couple things at the top that we're not going to see. As we said, there's going to be no jerking at the top. This is a thruster. Also, we need to have those arms straight up overhead. We need to have a line from that bar to your shoulders, to your hips open, all the way to the ground. We need to have a straight line there. So if we don't get lockout, or we don't get those arms are out in front, those are two things that are going to be no reps. So he's going to show you no lockout first. Okay, so still have a little bend in those elbows. All right, see that? And now he'll show you that bar not coming back up overhead, straight overhead. All right. Okay, see how that bar is out in front still. Okay. Last thing, real quick, you can probably hang up there for just a second. No depth. Okay. So no depth is going to be not a full squat. That's going to be a no rep as well. All right. So pretty simple with that thruster. One thing I do want to talk about with all the bar movements is we're fine with you dropping these weights from overhead or whatever you do. Keep an eye on them. That's great. A big thing is you cannot catch it on the bounce. In any way you can't catch it on the bounce. It needs to be settled, then you can grab it, and then you can go on that next movement. So we'll show you that on the next one. Right there. So next movement is clean and jerk. Clean and jerk bar is going to be starting on the ground, both weights on the ground at the same time. You are going to be catching that bar on your shoulders. It needs to have a stop off on the shoulders, and then you need to finish overhead. Okay? So let's show a good rep on that clean and jerk. Real quick before you go. You can catch it in that squat and then fire straight from that. You do not have to stand up for it. And stand. So perfect. Awesome. Okay, so he dropped it, as you saw, made sure it settled at the bottom, and you can keep on. A couple things that may not happen that will be called a no rep is if you do not stop off at the shoulders. If you just bring it straight through, that's a snatch. Okay? So let's show that. Okay? That's a snatch. That's a no rep. Another one will be if you don't get that full lockout, or you don't get that lockout in front and overhead. So just show those two real quick. So this will be no lockout on the elbow. All right? All right, and then we'll show it out in front. Good. All right. Now just stay up there for a sec. Another one we're going to show is he's going to do a jerk right now, and when he comes down in that jerk, he's going to stand up and be bringing that bar down before he gets full stand. All right, so go ahead and go do that. All right, so he didn't stand up. Now show standing up completely. There we go. He stood up. Now he can bring that bar down. Keep it up there for one more second. Split jerk is fine. You can split it, but you need to bring those feet back together. So show a split. Brings his feet together and bringing it back down. Show a bad rep. And he's bringing it down before he brought his feet together. Show one more good rep. I get the easy job here. I get to tell him what to do. Awesome. All right. So that's the clean and jerk. Seems like we're pretty square with that. The last, or the first, is going to be the snatch. The snatch, what we're going to do is we're going to have one continuous movement from that ground, the same starting position, to overhead catch with those arms locked out and standing up completely at the top. Now, show me one good rep, and then we'll talk about a couple potential problems and things we'll let slide. Good. All right. So, what we need to see is we need to see him catch it. We can catch it. If you need to catch it in a full squat snatch, that's fine. But it's squat or power snatch. Either way, we need to stand up completely at the top before we bring that bar down. So a couple things that we may miss on this is we may miss that standing up completely before you come down. All right. And if you'd like, you can split snatch. I don't know if you've ever split snatch, but we'll try it out. And you need to bring those feet together before you bring back down. Pretty straightforward with the snatch. One thing, if you do not get it to that straight overhead position, if it's over your head, you can press it through from overhead. But if it stops anywhere at your head or below your head, it is a no rep. All right? I want to show a press through, which we will allow. It's kind of a weird one, but we don't want to see this, obviously. But if you press it out, that's going to be okay if you stand up completely at the top. All right? Show me one more good rep, and then we'll call it a day on this. Stand up, boom, and back down. Good. All right. Looks like that's it, right? No hang cleans. Great, thank you very much. No hang cleans, has to touch down to the ground each time. Also, no bouncing off the ground. Okay. Want to show a bounce just in case? Yeah. May as well. And that was a hang with a bounce. Okay. Awesome. All right. So pretty good. Look forward to seeing you guys there. If you have any questions, let us know. And if we didn't square anything away, awesome.